You make such an important point, and for those people out there who aren't quite understanding the physics of this, obviously the larger the mass of a planet, regardless of what it's made of, like for instance Jupiter, its mass has the ability with the gravity to attract so much. That's why there's so many moons surrounding that planet. And
Well,
I'm
there's only four around Jupiter.
which
There are several dozen. I think it's way over 30 now around Saturn.
that's what okay. So that was the one
It's
that had an
Jupiter,
enormity.
yeah, it's Jupiter that has the four moons, one of which Io is constantly having volcanic eruptions. They never stop on Io because of the dynamic force between the massive Jupiter and the moons themselves. If you think about this, that Jupiter has so much gravitational attraction because of its large mass that it basically is agitating those four moons that orbit it all of the time. Those four moons are never without agitation by gravitational pull. And that's why Io is, I believe, is the closest, and it's in a constant state of agitation, always belching lava. The other three moons are bigger and in different orbits, and they are quite interesting. Ganymede and some of the others, there's even contemplation that they may have water, and like we know Enceladus does around Saturn. In fact, Enceladus is the moon around Saturn that they have discovered that at the bottom of a 30-mile deep water, they know it's water and ice, that there is 194 degree Fahrenheit heat from what has to be radioactive matter inside of that moon that keeps it that hot. And that means that as far away as it is from the sun, orbiting Saturn, that the water heated by the radioactive material from the core at 194 degrees all the way up to the surface, that the likelihood that we will find some form of life there is high. This is coming from astronomers. And that's why one scientist said to me, I think we are getting close to the announcement that everybody needs to know that we're not alone in this universe, and that it doesn't matter if it's going to be microbes on Mars or swimming creatures on Enceladus. That's the why that quote. That we are in a solar system that with every passing month we are finding new information that are coming from the various probes, and that what we thought when we were growing up as kids and being taught exactly as you said, that this was the only Earth in the universe and the only place for life. Clearly, there's water all over the place throughout this solar system, and where there's warm water, which is being heated on Enceladus, warmth plus water on Earth automatically means life here.
I'm glad you brought that up because for decades, if not centuries, whenever they discovered this, they always assumed that the light from the sun was integral in life. However, we've proven that right here on Earth, at the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean, where there
Yes,
should be no life, there are fissures in the Earth that are bringing up the heat from the core, and life is thriving down there.
that's
So
right.
that expands their search tenfold, if not much more. And that's why this, moon, which essentially could be a planet, because a moon essentially is something that's orbiting something else. For instance, our
Well,
artificial moons.
in astronomy now, because of all the controversy about Pluto versus the size of Eris and Sedna and so forth, the definition of a planet now, it has to be spherical. It has to have a certain, we'll call it lower. They've cut off a place that which is a planet has to be X mass or X diameter versus anything smaller is automatically going to be in a planetoid, like a dwarf planet category. So right now, the size of Planet 9 is so big, it automatically is a planet. Eris, however, which is larger than Pluto, is not meeting the mass size or the diameter size that has now been accepted as the definition of a planet. So there has been more organization within astronomy just because of the discovery of these icy planetoids out beyond Pluto, the change of Pluto, the controversy, the fact that this planet really did care about Pluto being the ninth planet, and how dare you astronomers demote it. But there has to be some kind of discipline in science. And if the size of Pluto ends up being smaller than several pure ice bodies in the Kuiper Belt you can see, they had to do something. They had to organize this in a
Yes.
way that a planet meets this criteria and everything else is in a different criteria. So that's what's happened.